Indiana Jones, who would have thought we could see a good game based on this classic franchise? And we did see a good game, and it's not just some fan service, but a truly original story. But before we get to the story and everything else, I generally want to talk about the technical part of the game. And to summarize, I'm shocked at how demanding this game is. Do we go to the fact that they now require 8 GB on minimum settings? The game looks beautiful, but not enough to justify it. And as far as I know, it's because here ray tracing is included in the game already, and you cannot turn it off. Of course, it's encouraging that only this game requires so much minimally, but it's still scary for the next games and how much they will eat resources. But also there is the positive side, that the optimization here is good. I play on medium-low 2K and locked under 60 FPS, and everything is stable, smoothly, no big drop frames. Honestly, when the game has not been released yet, I had an idea that it will be completely linear corridor, just a movie and everything, but it turned out that I was wrong. There are full-fledged locations where you can search, do additional quests, solve additional puzzles, and the quality of the additional content, not bad in principle or relevant with the main story, but they do not represent something unique that you will feel and like more than the main story. There is no such thing here. This is not off-level side quests like Witcher 3, Baldur's Gate 3 or New Vegas, but somehow they can still be entertaining in principle. For example, in the first story open location in the Vatican there is a good side quest where you can hear the confession of a fascist, and it was very funny, really in the spirit of Indiana movies. But now let's get back to the main story. The game starts with the fact that we are thrown to the beginning of the first movie. It denotes that the events here take place after the Riders of the Lost Ark, the first movie. Later we are transferred to the college. It's night, rain, thunder, and then Indy wakes up from some noise, and later we find out that someone got into the museum and that someone is some giant and he prays in some language we don't understand. Then he beats us up, we wake up and see that something is missing, and then we realize that the thief came from the Vatican, and then it turns out that the Nazis are involved and the standard Indiana story begins. Basically cool that the game really feels like it belongs to the original story and everything is so authentic and canonical, but at the same time everything is somehow predictable, you know what will be happen next, and really feels safe. As if they were afraid to do something unusual so as not to anger the fan base and that it was close in the spirit to the movies. But I cannot hear the new characters came out good. Sidekick Gina came out really charismatic character. Even I think she better than the other partners from the movies. As she is not only attractive but also useful as a partner, helps to lock picking doors, helps to solve puzzles, and she has a good motivation to participate in all these events. Also the main antagonist was a Nazi soldier, turned out pretty good too, a fun evil bad guy. If we compare the Great Circle with other movies, the story is closer to the first movie because here is the same mood, adventures with funny moments. There is no such cruelty as in the second movie, or there is no such a good disclosure of the relationship between Indy and his father as in the third movie. Now let's move to the gameplay. Here you will mainly wear a disguise so that you are not will be recognizable. As well as if you don't have the disguise, you will just try to pass unnoticed. And believe me, it's better here really be quiet, because if you are detected, you will have to fight, and here hand-to-hand combat and not so much good. Also it feels real, there's impact from your blows, but the system itself is very simple. At the end and in the beginning of the game, hand-to-hand combat feels the same. You will also put a block or dodge and then hit the enemy who just picks up some random object like a hammer. In the beginning it seems that it's fun to pick up any object like a shovel or frying pan and beat with it, but then it's boring because you do the same thing throughout the game. Also, here to fight against more enemies is impossible. Here you really have little chance to somehow crowd to win. In principle, it is realistic, but come on, this is a game, not real life. Also, shooting here is disgusting, and I also don't understand why, so I'm confused. The developers have made the newest Wolfenstein, and as far as I've heard, shooting there is the main thing, and it was very good. And here there is a feeling that I shoot from the toys and also need a lot of bullets to kill the usual enemy. So I rather use shooting here, mostly if it was scripted by the plot itself. Also, you can't store any weapon, you just pick it up, use it and throw it away. Only the revolver is the one you always have with you. What I like most of all was the platforming. You jump, cling to something with a whip and get to the other side. Also in some moments you swim. Also you're constantly solving some puzzles. They're not complicated. In principle, it's pleasure. I'm not a fan of puzzles in general, but they did not choke me here. But someone will probably want more complicated. Immediately I will say that I put puzzles on easy difficulty. I usually don't like them, and widely dump even over simple, but here it was rare case. So maybe if you put harder difficulty, you will be more interesting. In the end, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones movies, that it is worth trying game for you because he is an entertaining story and exploring the tombs are fun, but the game is nothing have really to impress you. And if you wildly dislike Indiana, then you should not play it all because here is a hand-to-hand combat is average and shooting in general feels really terrible.